Hello and welcome to Hughes at 10. It is Monday, the 21st of March, 2022. Today, Nadine Zaghari-Ratcliffe gave a press conference in which she quite rightly explained that the reason she was in jail for 6 years was because of the incompetence of the British government. And the five, yes, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foreign secretaries that we have had since 2016, that year that the Russian government interfered in our political system, causing a spiral of destruction that is leaving pretty much everything in its wake. People say that we shouldn't go on about Brexit all the time, but the big problem is that no matter what the fuck it is that you want to do with your life right now, it will be affected by Brexit in some way. Whether it is the fact that you're waiting to get a present sent to you from one of your friends in the continent of the continental Europe, as opposed to islandish Europe, like us in Ireland, and you're having to pay £97 tax to get it into the country. Or maybe you've got some aid that you need to get to Ukraine to save people's lives, but you can't get it out the country because of Brexit. Or maybe your fuel bills have gone through the fucking roof and they're going, oh, it's because of this war, it's because of this war. Hang on. We already knew this was all going to happen. We already knew that our energy bills were going to go up an average of 54%. Average. A lot of people's energy bills have gone up over 100%, or will go up over 100% over the next year. And that happened before the war. So there was one reason for that, it going up so much, and that was Brexit. And yesterday we had the wonderful news that both the Antarctic and the Arctic were both between 30 and 40 degrees above what they should be this time of year. Not 1 degree of warming, or 0.5% of warming. No. Sorry, 0.5 degree of warming. No, a full 30 fucking degrees hotter than they should be. Both the Arctic, which creates a nice little white layer at the top of the planet, so that the sun's rays don't heat the water up too much underneath, because it just reflects the sun's rays, right? And hot water actually occupies more volume than cold water. So the warmer the oceans get, the more it rises. The Antarctic, unlike the Arctic, which is basically a big ice cube floating on the water, the Antarctic is a continent. And when the ice melts off that, then we are all absolutely fuckaroonied. But yeah, more great news. We should be doing something about that, but we're not, because we're too busy, and we have spent the last 6 years too busy fannying around with fucking Brexit. We can't take Ukrainian refugees into this country without a mountain of red tape. Why? Because of Brexit. Because we want to make it difficult for people coming from Europe, or anywhere really, to come to our country. It all comes down to Brexit. Why are the people in charge of this country so absolutely ball-shatteringly incompetent? Because of Brexit. They got into their position of power, not because they were particularly good at their job, because they definitely weren't, but by toting the populist bullshit of the Kremlin, saying, oh, you want your freedom? You want your freedom? And then the piss to the resistance, the absolute bucket of piss to resistance, it's a new term I just made up, was Boris Johnson this weekend in some seaside, god-awful seaside town, doing his best to draw parallels between the fucknut racist twat bags who voted for Brexit and the brave men and women fighting for their fucking lives in Ukraine. Yeah. And then his Muppet ministers set up on the telly yesterday and today going, oh, he didn't actually say that. He didn't actually say that. No, he didn't really say it. If you think about it, he didn't really say it. Yes, he fucking did. We saw him on a fucking video. It wasn't a deep fake. He definitely said it. And then this morning, Boris Johnson comes out and goes, yeah, I did say that thing that my ministers have gone out on the telly to say that I didn't say. And I'm sorry about saying it. Kinda. Fuck me sideways. And there are still Tory voters out there. There are still people who fully intend, when the next election rolls around, to vote Conservative. My God. Right, I'm going to jump into your comments. Sorry for being away for a week. I was supposed to do Prime Minister's questions, but I was actually at the Durham postgrad open day on Wednesday, hoping to find out more about doing a research PhD into I don't know, Russian interference in the British political system. I'm not going to get funded for that, am I? And then on Thursday, my laptop shut the bed and I couldn't do the show that I wanted to do about Côte d'Ivoire. Maybe you're very lucky, and I'm still here on Thursday this week. I'm supposed to be going off to Poland, but maybe if I'm still here, I will do a double Côte d'Ivoire. What comes after Côte d'Ivoire? Come on, help me out here. Cyprus? No, Cuba. We'll do a Côte d'Ivoire, Cuba double bill. I think that's right. Pineapple Boy, thank you very much for the super chat, Pineapple Boy. £1.79. Brexit and Ukraine parallel, or Putin ordered them both. Yeah, he did. He did indeed. But, yeah. This is the situation we find ourselves in. We have been absolutely well and truly molested by the Russian state. A state, a hostile entity. And what is increasingly becoming a terrorist state. In fact, you could argue it's been a terrorist state for some fucking time. I bet you that gobshite fucking, what's his name? Vladimir Putin. I bet he's avoiding umbrellas at the moment, and sushi, and aeroplane meals, and underwear, and whatever else his dickheads have fucking tried to poison people with. Oh, this ex-KGB agent, he seems so trustworthy. We all had great hopes for him at the beginning. Are you fucking kidding me? Flattened fucking Grozny, and then he invaded Georgia. He took a third of Georgia's land. Imagine if he did that to the UK. Imagine if he just took Wales and Scotland. Fuck it. And everyone in England went, oh yeah, well, I suppose he's got an historic claim over it, really, if you think about it, not too hard. All the signs were there. Assassinating political enemies, just having them stabbed in the back, or poisoned with polonium, or poisoned with Novichok on British soil. The signs were there. Russian interference in the Scottish referendum in 2014, the Brexit referendum in 2016, which was not investigated by our shithole twat-face. There's so many swear words I want to use right now. I possibly should. Government wasn't investigated. A hostile foreign state actually interfering in our democracy. And why not? Because the cunts who have got loads of money were making loads more fucking money. And the gap between rich and poor is going to get fucking nuts very, very soon. And the only good thing about this is there's 99 of us for every one of them. I'm just saying we've got the numbers. At the end of the day, we've got the numbers. And I can see something big on the horizon because I don't put up with this shit anymore. I'm absolutely so fucking sick to death of every fucking day waking up, reading the fucking news and going, oh, God's sake. I want some good news. I want some fucking good news to wake up to. I want to hear about the new plan. Not a plan, actually starting on making schools better, making the NHS better, making hospitals better, making our infrastructure better, greener, energy self-sufficiency, cleaner air. That's what I want. Alternatives to flying. That's what I want. That's what I want our government to invest in. The future of our country and the people who live in it and the people who come here to live here because they like the place. Fuck me. How dare they, eh? I mean, I just got to tell you this because I don't know if you all follow me on Facebook, but I got some bad news. I had some bad news last week. The lovely old Persian grandmother who I stayed with when I didn't stay with her, went there for breakfast when I was on the Odyssey expedition in Iran. She passed away last week. And I always think of her, this little old lady who was sitting in front of me on a bus, and she invited me for breakfast the next morning on this overnight bus via her grandson who I spoke to on the phone. And she invited me back for breakfast because she said the bus gets in really early and I'll have nowhere to go and no one to make me breakfast. So this little tiny old lady took me home with her and made me this amazing breakfast. And I always think of that because I need to know, I need to remember, I need to remind myself that not everyone on this planet is an absolute fuckwit or is an absolute scumbag. In fact, the opposite is true. The vast majority of us are all right. We really are. We're just trying to get on with our lives. We're just trying to make sure that, we're okay, our family's okay, the people around us are okay. And you know what? There's a part of us, and in every one of you watching this, that wants everyone to be okay. With a few notable exceptions, but you can name them, It's not just like a group of people who you're like, I don't like that group of people who I don't know most of the people of containing that group. I don't know. If you're going to dislike someone, I just think it should be individuals. But I need to keep that in my head. I need to remember that not everyone is an absolute fucking arsehole, because at the moment, unfortunately, for one reason or another, Putin, because of Vladimir Putin's interference in our electoral system, we have absolute inbred fuckheads in charge of this country. Absolute fuckheads. And they are evil. They are fucking evil. From the blithe, empty-headed malevolence of someone like Liz Truss or Nadine Dorries to the proper hardcore evil as fuckery of people like Jacob Rees-Mogg and Boris Johnson and who's that other gobshite? Gove. Actually, there's so many of them to choose from. And you think, maybe they'll do the right thing. They won't. They won't ever. They don't know what the right thing is because no one's ever told them. I blame the parents. I'll put them all in jail as well. Okay, I'm going to read some of your comments now. So I've got Duke Vengeance at the very top there. It's gone off the top of the screen, but I can see it. Saying, kill me now, please. No, Duke. No. Don't say that. And also, you've said that at the beginning of my show. So obviously, it sounds as though you're saying it about my show. Whereas I know you're not. I know you're saying it about everything, all the shit going on in general. But we're not doing that today, Duke. We're not doing that today. John Barleycorn starts off a little bit better with hello. Duke Vengeance wants off this planet. Well, we need to stay here, Duke. We've got to make this. We've got to make this shit situation worse. Worse. We've got to make it worse. We've got to make it better. God damn it. Cut. Rewind the tape. We've got to make this shit situation better in any way that we can. So the other bit of shit news that I got last week was that my man Kieran won't be able to be coming to Poland with us. He's not feeling well. And I don't want to push it because I just want to go over there and not feel like I'm dragging someone with me against their will out of the bed. I'm currently thinking I'm probably ain't going to end up going on my own, which is going to make the travelogue a little more boring than it would have otherwise been. And it means that I won't be able to read people's messages because I'll be driving and it would be quite dangerous to do that. But I'll try and bodge something together. I'm working with the Ukrainians in the UK. There's a group in Manchester, part of a nationwide group that have already raised over £2 million for people coming for aid for Ukraine. And so I'm working with them. Hopefully get a van together this week and head out later this week. So look out for that. But it's all been a bit kind of like, oh my God. But the cool thing is that I am now part of a WhatsApp group with a group that's on the border of Ukraine and Poland. And I literally have a wish list. I have a wish list given to me by one of the doctors on the border of exactly what they need. And it might not be things that you might necessarily think of. But he needs a head torch. He needs a defibrillator. He needs that's a defibrillator. He needs a few of those plug-in oil radiators to keep the place warm. And there's a bunch of stuff that they need. So I'm gonna try and get as much of that over as possible, plus aid for people coming over the border. And I'm also going to be involved in a project that we're going to be announcing hopefully next week, which is going to involve contributions from schools around the country, which these contributions will then be taken to places in Poland and the border with Ukraine. Some of them might actually be taken into Ukraine itself, but at the moment it's not looking good. It really isn't. Mariupol is absolutely besieged. The Russian army is committing war crimes on an almost biblical scale. For those who say, why don't you care so much about Yemen? I can't fucking drive to Yemen, all right? I can't drive to Yemen. There is no literal way of me getting to Yemen without, I don't know, going through Oman, or how am I supposed to get goods? How am I supposed to get anything more than me and me backpack and maybe a suitcase to Oman and or Saudi Arabia? And it's the Saudis who are bloody bombing Yemen. Ukraine is close enough that we can actually do something about it ourselves, without having to rely on aid agencies, or without having to rely on governments to help us out. We can do it, and we should, and we fucking should. But I will stress that if anyone's thinking of doing something similar and going out to Poland or Slovenia or Romania and delivering stuff to the borders there, please make sure that you get all your ducks in a row before you set off, because Brexit has made it difficult to leave the country with stuff. We've put up barriers to trade all over the fucking shop. Because although a lot of people are very intelligent in this country, collectively we're a bunch of dickheads. Dickheads with a heart of gold, I like to think, but dickheads nonetheless. I'm a bit hoarse. Been swearing loudly at GitLab. GitLab, is that the programming thing on the internet? Mark says evening. Context said good evening, everyone. Number 3, good evening. Back for my usual fix. Says number 3. Hey, I'm like heroin, only more addictive. No, I'm not. Please wait now. Says Context. Evening all. Snafu says pineapple boy. And Context says Fubar. Fucked up beyond all recognition. The Cash Dummy says, this planet is awesome and wonderful. Some people are crap, but every day of being here is such a privilege. That's true. When Mark Twain was asked if he was afraid of dying, he said, no, I've been dead for billions of years before I was born, and I didn't find it too inconvenient. So if you look at it that way, this is a brief moment that we actually get to do stuff. In between billions of years of non-existence. So, you know. Snafu bar. Yeah, I like that, Pineapple Boy. Mush it all together. Welcome to $1.80 an hour on the ferries. Yes, Mark. Less than £2 an hour. That's what they're going to be paying the people who are coming over from India to run the P&O ferries. So another bit of bad news we had last week was that P&O decided to sack 800 of its staff and replace them with foreign workers who they are now, it turns out, paying less than £2 an hour. That's less than £15 a day. Less than £15 a day, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's less than £75 a week. 75 fucking pounds a fucking week. People's fucking energy bills are more than that in this country at the moment. Don't know how they're supposed to live on it. Maybe they can in India. Certainly can't work on it, live on it in fucking Europe. I'll tell you that for nothing. It's fucking slave labour. Why is it allowed? Because of Brexit. Why did this happen? Why did they all lose their jobs? Because of Brexit. Lots of factors here. First of all, less people have been taking ferries. Yes, you can blame that on COVID to an extent, but that didn't affect the freight. Most of the money that P&O makes and that other shipping companies around the world make comes from the freight, not the passengers. And as such, the amount of freight coming in and out of the UK hasn't really changed that much until this year. Obviously, the stuff going out has decreased substantially because of Brexit. But during COVID, no, things were moving normally. There were less passengers, yes, but things were otherwise moving normally, except for the fact that in Ireland, instead of having to go through a mountain of red tape to bring your goods through Britain in order to get it out of Britain's arse into the rest of Europe, they were taking a little detour around. So you had places like Rosslare and Rosslare, Port and Cork, and there's another one that are now doing direct routes to Dieppe, to it's to Dieppe to Dover and up the coast to Rotterdam, I think. So they're doing direct ferries now. They're not coming through those goods are not coming through Britain anymore. So Brexit has caused the dip in profits, which meant that apparently P&O were losing £100 million a year. But very interesting that they sacked all the British workers and none of the Dutch workers and none of the French workers. Funny that. Almost like they were protected somehow by some kind of, I don't know, European Union. That was a protectionist racket set up to protect us. And those fucking cocknuggets over at the RMT Union. Yeah, this is the RMT. I think it stands for Rail and Maritime Transport Union. Is that what it stands for? Oh my God, you fucking cretins. You fucking cunts. You took money off your union dues that people paid you out of their fucking wages. You spent it telling them to vote for fucking Brexit. The very thing that enabled this fire and rehire to happen. Well done, RMT Union, you fucking idiots. Grow a fucking brain. Jesus Christ. I'm going to get into bed with all these Tories and fascists. Yeah, this will work out well for the workers. It always does. Dickheads. Absolute dickheads. Do you know what? It's things like that that make me start going, maybe Thatcher had a point. No, she didn't. That was a joke. But oh my God. How thick do you have to be? As thick as Len McCluskey, probably. So dense he bends light. He is an embarrassment to my city, massively. And the Unite Union was also all for getting out the EU and these bastards protecting us, giving us protection against, I don't know, people who want to fire them and rehire people from the other side of the planet for £2 an hour. Maybe, may fucking be. RMT Union, oh my God. Oh my Jesus Christ in God, that is just, you stupid motherfuckers. You fucking stupid cunts. You fucking hell. You really fucking did screw the pooch. And then the RMT came out and went, it's got nothing to do with Brexit. It's got nothing to do with Brexit. It's like, oh, fucking hell. Yeah, they do literally have no brains. I don't know how they remember to fucking breathe. Jesus Christ. Wow, I just got a £20 super chat from Patrick McCarthy. Thank you, Patrick. A Zoom reading of a play script from the Nottingham Playhouse, The Time Traveller's Guide to Donbass, was hacked halfway. Then Max's live show had to be restarted. I hope I'm not paranoid, but maybe Russian non-state actors at work. I hope not. No, my problems with my computer were my problems for downloading stupid things. It was definitely my fault that. I don't think it was hacked. But if I am being hacked, then great. If someone wants to make a movie out of all the movie scripts on my computer and then I can sue them once the movie's made, feel free. RMT Union encourages their movies to back Brexit. Looks kind of stupid now. Yes, Mark. Yes, it does. Won't be using P&O to cross the channel from now on, says Lee Corn. Well, yeah, when I go this week or next week, I'll be taking the Euro tunnel. So who will be responsible if a ferry hits a ship in the channel? Oh, P&O. The captain. Number 3, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transformed. Our consciousness seems to be a kind of energy. Okay. Pineapple Boy, Patrick McCarthy, wait. Not paranoid, they're really after you. Helicopter. Thanks for that, Pineapple Boy. Boris is a huge bastard, sent a message, but then retracted it, but I like your name. Chubbai says, it's not hire and refire, it's fire and get someone else. Indeed. Graham, Boris compared Ukrainian war with Brexit. This man, Boris is very, very stupid. I know he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing because it's all over Twitter. Something else that was all over Twitter last week was Nigel Farage saying that he would do Mother's Day messages for people. Stop forwarding this shit. Just stop it. Just stop giving them the publicity that they crave by going on about it all the time. Please stop. And if you're going to forward some absolute crock of shite from GB News or from Nigel Farage or from Boris Johnson or whoever, screen cap it so you can see what the stupid twat said, and then upload post the screen cap, okay? Don't forward their don't retweet them. Don't retweet them. It only encourages them and ends up fucking trending, so more of their little cunt followers will fucking follow them. Right, stop it. Just calm down, Graham. Right, anyway. For a heathen, Graham does take the Lord's name in vain quite often. Well, yes, I know. I like taking the Lord's name in vain. There's only so many swear words out there, isn't there? Boycott P&O says Patrick McCarthy. Yeah, well, I mean, we are going to, but hardly any of us use it anyway. It was really the truck drivers and the downturn in people using P&O ferries to move freight is the reason why they looked at the books and said the only way we're going to balance the books is by sacking everyone and replacing them with workers that we're going to pay £2 an hour. The problem with the loony left is they still think that the EU is a capitalist cabal, just like in the 70s. Same thinking as Jeremy Corbyn. 34 minutes if you're watching. I know you are, Bayerbag. He's going to put it up 34 minutes. Actually, no, I came on about 5-6 minutes past, so it's a bit less than that. So less than half an hour. Mentioned the king of all gobshites. I mean, fucking hell. It's a crowded field, I tell you. You're right about screenshotting and not retweeting. Thank you, Patrick McCarthy. I needed to know that I was right about that. But seriously, please stop doing it. You know who you are. Stop it. Indeed. At least Titanic sinking was unforeseen. Oh, but was it? Wasn't there a novel that was written 10 years earlier about a boat called the Titan? Maybe? And it sank on its maiden voyage after hitting an iceberg. Someone should look that up on the internet. Bayberg smiling. He's having a laugh. Seaborne ferries don't seem so bad now. Well, yeah. Grimaldi ferries don't seem that bad now. Actually, no. Grimaldi ferries. They're the Greyhound bus service of the sea. Bloody awful. I mean, really, really bad. Really grim. Bobby says, Hughes bastard says Titan. Yeah, I think it was called The Titan. I think the book is called The Titan. I'm not sure. Someone look it up. Oh, hello, Graham. My beloved Natalie is in Poltava, central Ukraine, which has not yet been attacked by Russian fascists. That's good news, Martin. But if you need help getting Natalie out of Ukraine, please get in touch, because I've got contacts who might be able to help. You might have them yourself, so I don't really, teaching how to suck eggs or whatever. But there is going to be a huge... What they're saying at the border now is there's going to be a huge quantity of people coming over in the next 2 weeks, because most of the internally displaced people in Ukraine have moved to Lviv, and now Lviv is about to be attacked by the Russians, and as a result we'll get probably another couple million refugees coming over the border in the next couple of weeks. All this suffering, all this misery, all this death. Over 10,000 Russian soldiers are dead. 10,000. They've lost 4 major generals, and 10,000 boys are dead because of the ego of one man, because of the megalomania of one man. One man who, unfortunately, there are still people in this country, there are still people living and breathing in this country who honestly fucking believe that Boris Johnson is all right as well, but that honestly believe that Vladimir Putin's got Ukraine's best interest at heart. He's just bombing them out of love, really. He's love bombing them, literally, with real bombs that actually fucking kill people to death. He's actually killing children. He's actually killing babies just because he loves them so much. He's doing the right thing to get rid of that Nazi, that Jewish guy whose 3 uncles were killed in the Holocaust. Yeah, he's such a massive Nazi, that guy who was democratically elected to be president and said, I'm going to join the EU and NATO if you elect me. And they elected him. And he said, okay, well, let's get on with this then. And then Boris fucking Johnson says, oh yeah, those people fighting for their lives in Ukraine, basically they're just the same as Brexiteers. Hang on, knobhead. Do you know what they're fighting for? For independence from Russian influence, so they can join the motherfucking European fucking Union, you daft twat. don't know. I have to explain this to. Well, I don't need to explain it to you. You're smart enough to work that out for yourselves. But fuck me. Isn't it something that one of the Nazis said, like Goering or Goebbels or one of the others from the rhyme about Hitler only having one ball, who said that you should accuse your opponents of what you're guilty of? And that's what Boris Johnson does all the fucking time. You know Boris Johnson, right? Not a lot of people know this, but when his dad was beating the living shit out of his mother downstairs in the house where they lived, so much so that she went to hospital, Boris Johnson was upstairs having a wank over the sound of it. Also, people have said, I didn't say that, but I've heard it on the internet. People are saying, allegedly, but that's the kind of horrible little shit he is, and always has been. He's a bully-faced little cock. And, yeah, bet as he mates with Vladimir Putin and all of Vladimir Putin's oligarchs who have been scribbling their money away in London, in London grad for the last 20 fucking years, with no one stopping them, everyone encouraging them. Oh yeah, it's great. I love it when gangsters use their gangster fucking drug money and their gangster stolen state money, the money that should be the Russian people's. But no, I'm going to take it all. I'm going to spend it in the West. I'm going to buy things in the West. And meanwhile, in Russia itself, people are living in shit. And it's even shitter now because the ruble's lost half its fucking value, and there's so many sanctions on the place. It's I'm saying it's getting silly. It's kind of sensible to put this many sanctions on a place that is doing something as horrific as what Russia is doing. But don't forget, there's 144 million Russians who haven't really done anything wrong here, who are all suffering because of one man's fucking ego. All that suffering, all the people spread out across Europe now who have had their lives upended, uprooted. All the people in Russia who have lost their life savings, who have lost their property, have lost their jobs. All this suffering, all the cause of one vile little cunt, Vladimir Putin. Fucking hell. Seriously, I'm sure someone's going to take him out, you know, for dinner, obviously. Not anything else. Wouldn't want to encourage that kind of thing. Take him out to take him out for dinner, yeah? Like when you're given an animal and they say, put it down, and you're not supposed to pull out a needle and inject it with death serum because they meant actually just put it down on the ground. Yeah? Yeah. So that, just to clear up any misunderstanding that might have come from me saying that, but that Putin needs to be taken out very soon. But you know, he's the people he's made very rich, he's now making very poor. Keep turning those screws. Someone's got to break. Someone's got to snap. Someone's got to, oh, fucking, this is crazy. Why have we got this mad bastard in charge who's destroying our country? Oh, he's destroying all my money. Actually, don't give a fuck about Russia. None of those oligarchs give a fuck about the people of Russia. How many oligarchs are there? There's only about 100. There's about 100 out of a population of 144 million. That puts the 1% to shame. There's a 0.0001% or something. Jesus Christ. No more than that. Fucking hell. And yeah, they don't give a flying fuck about Russia or the Russian people, or the people of Ukraine or anything. But they do care about their money. So the more yachts that we either scuttle or repossess, the better. Indeed. Patrick McCarthy, take him out, not for dinner. Yes. Take me out. There's a Franz Ferdinand song called "Take Me Out." Yes. It's been an accidental partridge there. I think someone should take care of Putin. He needs looking after. That's right, Darren. He needs looking after. Indeed. The people of Russia know what to do. It's not the first time, says Chubite. Nah, but, you know, it's a bit like no one assassinated Stalin, did they? No one really assassinated the Tsar until like 3 years after the Russian Revolution. So 3 years after the second Russian Revolution. There were 2 in 1 year, which people don't talk about too much, but they should. Patrick McCarthy, I think that was Goebbels. Oh, it was Goebbels who said that. Bojo and Erdogan are the only leaders not invited to the EU summit this week. Biden will be there. It's fucking pathetic, isn't it? Fucking pathetic. Chubby, there were some anti-vax in Germany with Russia flags. Well, they aren't allowed to use the flag they want in Germany. Yeah. anti-vaxxers, neo-Nazis, pro-Putin, knobheads, yes, Brexiteers, massive fucking overlap. And what it is they're thick. And we live in a society in which we're not allowed to tell thick people that they're thick anymore. Oh, it sounds quite right-wing of me to say that we should tell people who are thick that they're thick. But I really think we should. I think it's cruel not to. I think it's cruel to let people go on the X Factor not knowing they can't sing. Do you know what I mean? I think it's not fair. It's not right. It's a bit off, isn't it? Because they're making an arse of themselves in front of the entire nation. Well, whoever was left watching X Factor towards the end. But seriously, like, millions of people are watching this person who can't sing make an absolute twat of themselves on a stage. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. And I don't mean like this in a kind of like, let's have a Jeremy Kyle fucking bear baiting bullshit where you have some privately educated twat like Jeremy Kyle lording it over these people who don't really have much. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But there are a lot of people who are not particularly well off, who are smart as a fucking tack, but they can't get anywhere. They can't get into the upper echelons of anything in this country because they don't sound posh. Fact of life. We need to start a GoFundMe. Take Putin to dinner and make sure he has a dead good time. Lee, you're right. I've been thinking about this. I can't believe that no one's done this yet, but there should be an international escrow account set up that anyone can donate to that is contracted to go to the person who kills Putin. That's it. Or that person's family if they die in the attempt. They die in the process. Attempts are no good. You've got to take the fucker out. That's it. And you get all the money in that. Honestly, it will be over $1 billion. It will be over $1 billion very, very quickly. You'll be surprised at how quickly that fund will go over $1 billion. And you've got all these people, working for Putin, the people cleaning his palaces, the people dishing up his food, the people driving him around. I'm sure one of them will have their head turned by a bounty of $1 billion fucking dollars. I know I would. I mean, I always like to think of myself as a pacifist, someone who wouldn't kill unless absolutely fucking necessary. But at this moment in time, for the planet, for the good of the planet, it's absolutely fucking necessary that Vladimir Putin dies as soon as humanly possible. So if there are any rich people who know shit about how escrows work and can set that up, I'll do the website. A black mark against my name for all time. But yeah, And then the beauty of this is we all pay into it, so none of us can be done for paying for an assassination. We haven't paid anyone to say, yeah, go and assassinate that person individually. If 1 million people do it, think about it, they can't put 1 million of us in jail. That's why it needs to go into an escrow. No one takes control of it. It's put into a specific escrow account that has a contract linked to it that says if you kill Putin, you get all the money in this pot. And you make a website and you have the figure, the amount of money going up all the time, all the money that's in there, and have a duplicate site in Russian, and just make sure it gets shared on Telegram and on Facebook and well, not Facebook because they can't use Facebook in Russia anymore, but people do. But yeah, bloody hell. If I was Elon Musk, if I was Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or whatever, I'll fucking do that. I would just fucking do it. I wouldn't say, hey, I'm going to give $1 billion of $1 billion of my money for the first person who does this. No, I wouldn't do that. I'll set up the escrow account and put my money into it, but anonymously. It's all anonymous. You see, anonymous donations. That's the way to do it. Okay, number 3 says £5. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, number 3. £5 super chat. Parliament is pathetic. How are such evil criminals allowed to continue in high office? Because Britain has an eating disorder. It's as simple as that. There are a few people in high office, most notably Truss, Patel, Raab, and Gavin Williamson, who aren't privately educated. And I think what the Tory elite have done, the privately educated elite that do run the Tory party, what I think they have done is they have found the most toxic, most disgusting, most evil, and most stupid, like bubble-headed motherfuckers they could find from the state sector. They've found 4 or 5 people and they've put them into high office to go, oh no, it's okay, we don't discriminate against the hoi polloi. But also, it makes the 93% of us who don't go to private school or didn't go to private school, it makes us look bad. Because they're like, oh, well, look at the dick. You think Boris Johnson's a dickhead? Look at Liz Truss. Anyway, I wouldn't put money to kill Putin. I'll make it for free. No. Escrow for Russian gas exports. They can't touch it unless certain conditions are met. That's a good idea. Boris is a huge bastard, says I love that idea. Gosh, it turned dark here, says Pat Boy. Well, we're at war, mate. We're at war. Oh, by the way, something else happened today, which you should know about. The peace negotiations between China, Japan and Russia, a hangover from World War II. Because technically, World War II is still raging. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Because, you see, the thing is that Japan and Russia have never signed a peace treaty. They were having discussions about it, but Russia's just walked out on them. So, yeah, it's not World War III. It's not World War Z. Put Z's on things. No! It's World War II Part 2. I think. Anyway, Mad Monk 33. The UK government has stopped a flight of orphan children flying from Poland to London and then Scotland due to paperwork. These are the kids that Ian Blackford spoke to the government about last week. Oh, fuck doing an escrow for fucking Boris Johnson. Let's do an escrow for Vladimir Putin. Let's do an escrow for the Tory government. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Come on. There's some assassins out there. No, I can't say this. I'm joking. Obviously, that's a joke. I mean, who would say that in their right mind? Allegedly. What I hear. People are saying, etc. Fucking hell, what fuckers. What absolute fuckers, Mad Monk. What? Orphans. Fucking orphans. Escaping a war zone. And we're like, no, I'm sorry, you have to fill out form AF42 and just sign it in triplicate and then send it to your local office for processing over 6 months. The Vogons are well and truly in command. Hasn't there been a bounty put on his head by an oligarch already? Yes, Philip, there has, but relatively, it's not much. I mean, seriously, it's not much. I'm thinking if it was $1 billion, someone would do it. And the only way you're going to do that is crowdfunding. It's the way of the future. Imagine if Vladimir Putin could become the first crowd-funded assassinated world leader. That'd be brilliant. How did we get rid of Vladimir Putin, Grandad? Well, we crowdfunded. Crowdsourcing assassinations. Taiwan has sent drones to Ukraine, apparently. That complicates matters. The Russians, that's number 3. The Russians sunk trawler in the North Sea they thought was Japanese before the First World War. That's from Chubai. He's offered $1 million, says Philip, yeah. Lee says the guy from the organisation was on LBC News today. It was the Polish government because they had to release him. They had to release them. I'm sorry, I missed the middle bit of that conversation, I think. Sorry, Lee. But yeah, Philip, just going back to what Philip Rickards just said about offering $1 million. Yeah, first of all, I don't think it's enough. And secondly, I mean, would you trust a Russian oligarch with anything? With anything? No. Just no. It was the Polish government because they had to release them. I don't understand, Lee. Saying it was the Polish government because they had to release them. Release what? Release the orphans? What? Sorry, I don't follow. Bayerberg says we could do a DAO, decentralized anonymous organization, with the sole objective of taking care of Putler, but that's a crypto thing. Hey, do you know what? Do it. Do it. Make crypto actually do some good in the world, Martin. Go on. Fucking do it. Set it up. And I guess if people are mad enough to trust cryptocurrency, then they'll trust it, I guess. I wouldn't. That's just me. But, you know. I do know how to make money out of cryptocurrency, which is to talk about cryptocurrency. You don't actually make money from, you know, anything else. Just talk about it and get paid for it. Drew says, if Putin got whacked, not easy. Some say his successor will be worse. Also, he has a reserve youth militia to prevent revolution. Yeah, Drew, I mean, look. People always say whoever follows X will be worse. However, in history, it doesn't happen very often that the person who comes afterwards is worse than the person who came before. I'll give you a few examples. Hitler. Donowitz gave up immediately, and then the people who ran Germany, or two halves of Germany after that, were not as bad as Hitler. They might have been a bit shit, but they weren't as bad as Hitler. No one rose up after Napoleon to try and take over all of Europe on behalf of France. No one replaced Pol Pot as some crazy bastard who wanted to kill everyone who wore fucking glasses in Cambodia. No one replaced Mao Zedong. It was Deng Xiaoping who replaced him, who wasn't as bad as Mao by a mile. Was it Brezhnev who took over from Stalin? Wasn't as bad as Stalin. Was it Khrushchev? I always get those two mixed up. Wasn't as bad as Stalin. So the guy who took over from Saddam Hussein wasn't as bad as Saddam Hussein. The guy who took over from... Am I boring you? The guy who took over from Gaddafi wasn't as bad as Gaddafi. So, no. Get rid of them. Just get rid of them. And if the next person's just as bad, then the sanctions stay on Russia. The next person says, hey, let's have free and fair elections and democracy and allow opposition MPs and allow opposition leaders to live and not be murdered by the state. Then we'll think about taking the sanctions off. Puts the lotions on its skin, or it gets the hose again. Mark says John Major took over from Thatcher. Well, exactly. I mean, yeah. I think it's I understand the argument of like, well, it's better the devil let you know, but I find that most of the times that I'm thinking of in history, it's like Genghis Khan was kind of replaced by his grandson Kublai Khan, who wasn't quite as bad. Like, I mean, monstrous. He was quite monstrous. He did some really evil fucking shit, but not quite as bad as Genghis. Richard III, they killed him. He was replaced by Henry VII, who went down in history as the king in the counting house counting his money. He was a bit of a miser, apparently, but that's about it. He didn't go around, I don't know, dissolving the monasteries or doing something crazy like that. That was his son. Yeah. You can support Graham by becoming a patron, says Cash Dummy. Oh, thanks, Cash Dummy. I don't know why anyone was wanting. My broadcasts have been quite sporadic since the beginning of since I got back from Ginger Island, actually. I'm really sorry about that. I'm trying to get more of a definite, this is going to happen every other day or whatever I do the videos. It's just, sometimes life gets in the way. What can I say? Lee Korn says, before the plane left, a form that should have been sent by the Ukrainian government to the Polish Ministry of Family and Social Policy needs to release the group was not sent in time. What the fuck? Why? What? So there was some busybody there going, excuse me, did we have a form for all these children? They're fucking children. They're literally children. They are children on a fleeing from a war zone. Oh, well, you never know. Unless you've got a form, they might be Russian spies. What, like the fucking Russian spy we've got in our House of Lords? Like that? Like that kind of Russian fucking spy who was made a lawmaker, a British lawmaker for life by these gobshites in power, by Boris Johnson, against the expressed opinion, or warning, I should say, expressed warning by MI5. That guy was a cunt. That guy was a grade A fucking threat to national security. As is Boris Johnson. And still, Still, these Brexiteers, these anti-vaxxers, these climate change deniers, these anti-net zero motherfuckers are always there, aren't they? Little hangers on. Oh, I love Boris. He tells it like it is. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Could you imagine having a fucking heart attack? He'd be like, what's up with you, Alex? And he'll be like, he'd be fucking dead before he actually managed to spit out what was fucking wrong with him. Stupid twat. Imagine him in a fucking fire. Be absolutely fucking useless. He'd be sozzled in the middle of the fucking on the couch, going, what's happening? What's happening? Trying to tell you there's a fucking fire in the building. The guy is inarticulate. He's a fucking mess, and he's weak. This is something that I thought of because I Am Happy Toast posted a picture yesterday of a piss take of Boris Johnson with his arms out, with his hoodie up over his head, doing some weird shit on the beach the other day. And it was a redo of the Skegness is so bracing, and he'd had some ideas up for like what he could put, being in Putin's pocket is so bracing and things like that, which are quite clever. And he was asking for suggestions of what else could he have, like something is so bracing with Boris Johnson. And I thought weakness, because this is the thing, right? And I'm going to wrap up soon because I'm coming up to the 11th hour. Tory voters and Boris fangirls and fanboys do not give a fuck that he lies. Okay? They don't care. They don't care that he's offensive. They don't care. Right? They don't give a flying fuck. So you can write all the tweets you like about how he lies, and it won't make a blind bit of fucking difference to the motherfuckers who want to vote for him. Right? Also, his infidelity, his cheating, his many mistresses, his 3 wives, his 17 children and counting. They don't care about any of that either, okay? But what they do care about is weakness. They saw Theresa May as weak because she couldn't stare down the ERG. Boris Johnson can't stare down the ERG or the fucking CRG or whatever the fuck they're calling themselves these days, the fucking heebie-jeebies. He can't send that. So what he does is he just turns up and he says, let's all have a party, let's all have a drink, oh, we're having a great time, yeah, we'll all do this, yes, won't we, yeah, it's all great, isn't it? Oh. He's very good at that. He's very good at persuading these motherfuckers to do what he wants them to do. I'll have to give him that, even though, any other leader would have to sit them down and go, listen, there's some things you need to know about the the birds and the bees, but he doesn't need to do that. He gets away with it. But the way that he does deal with these people is that he lies to them. He lied to the DUP, who were duped. Who would have thought with a name like that into thinking that Great Britain gave a fucking flying fuck about Northern Ireland. Newsflash, Great Britain gives no fucks whatsoever about Northern Ireland. Behold my field where I grow all my fucks. It is barren. Yes. Sorry, Northern Ireland people watching this. I love you. Great Britain doesn't. So much so that we had all of our stickers changed on our cars when we go abroad now. So instead of saying UK, which includes Northern Ireland, it says GB, which doesn't. You know why that is, don't you? Because Northern Ireland's still part of the customs union and single market. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, thanks for that. Brexit. All comes down to Brexit. But yeah, so Boris Johnson, weakness. It's so bracing. So basically, I think that if you're slagging off Boris Johnson, saying that he's a weak leader who can't make a decision will actually have more of an effect on Tory voters than saying that he's dishonest, he's a misogynist, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a fool, he's a cad, he's a liar. They don't care about any of that shit. They really don't care. He's a Russian collaborator. He's up Putin's arse. Doesn't matter. Like, honestly, that won't even touch the sides. But say that he's weak. Think about the mentality of the people who vote for someone like Boris Johnson. That's the message that needs to get out there. He's a weak leader. He just does what he thinks will get him a round of applause in a room at any one time. He never makes a decision. And that's something we can really nail him on, because he doesn't make decisions until it's too late, until he's forced to make a decision one way or the other. Boris doesn't say it as it is. He waits for the winds to change and then jumps on the opportunity. Yeah, because he's weak. Bayerberg, there's a reason for all the paperwork. American pastor hoarded about 35 Ukrainian children, wanted to smuggle them into the States. Poland needs to keep an eye on all guests within its borders. Okay, all right, Bayerberg, I will take that because I forgot about the nutty fucking Americans who are at the moment in Ukraine, in Poland, at the border, being absolute gobshites and telling people who are fleeing war that they need to embrace Jesus Christ. Because that's what they really need. They don't need a fucking blanket or some food or somewhere to live or stay, I should say, until this horrific war is over and they go home and then start the painful rebuilding process. No, they need Jesus, apparently. So, yeah, I kind of get that. When I was traveling around Africa in 2009, I think it was, there was an American who went to Mauritania, the place where they only made slavery illegal in 2007, to preach the Bible to people in Mauritania. And the people in Mauritania killed him. And so for a while, Americans were not allowed to go to Mauritania. Is it land of the free? It's quite interesting because the American passport doesn't actually allow you to get into certain countries. Well, the American government doesn't want you to go to certain countries. Like if you're American, it's still hard to get into Cuba. You get a million questions on the way back if you do. It's very hard to go to Venezuela. It's very hard to go to Iran. It's very hard. I think it's still hard to go to Mauritania. But basically, yeah, crazy preachers going places and then getting killed. The Andaman Islands, that was the other one, wasn't it? I don't know if that was an American, but it was certainly someone who wanted to go to Sentinel Island in the Andamans, which were an island group in the Bay of Bengal, or the Indian Ocean, with that area. And essentially this island, Sentinel Island, and no Westerners, no Indians, no one who's not from the islands ever stepped foot on it. Well, they have, but then they've been killed with arrows very, very quickly by the people who live on the island, who aren't very happy with anybody else coming to their island with their guns and germs and their steel. And he died. You know when they say in the travel advice on the FCO website, don't go to this country? Yeah, they mean it. Luckily, when I went to every country in the world, there was only one country on the don't go to any part of this country list, and it was Somalia. But it did make an exception for Somaliland, which is where I went to in Somalia, which is a breakaway republic, which one day might be its own place. It's old British Somalia. The rest of Somalia is old Italian Somalia. And in fact, old French Somalia is now an independent country called Djibouti. There could be an old, a new country based on old British, the old British Somalia, which would be called Somaliland. And then Somalia itself, which is Puntland, and the rest of Somalia might just be a state, although Puntland might want to be its own state as well. So there you go, the balkanization of Somalia right there. But most of the countries in the world that it said we advise against all but necessary travel here. It didn't say don't go at all. But if you are going to go to these places, just be sensible. Don't do daft things. Don't go to Sentinel Island. Don't go to Mauritania and preach the gospel. You're not going to get very far. Okay, Mad Monk, I just checked. It was a form from Ukraine that was late to arrive. I understand it's now done. Sorry, I got the wrong end of the story. But BBC Scotland said it was UK government. That's all right, Mad Monk. I got very angry there, but now my anger that has dissipated. And it's all right because I can get really angry about literally everything else that's going on in the world. Donkeys are found on Blackpool Beach, another one that we are led by. Indeed. Johnson only thinks about what tabloid editors expect him to say. He's massively misjudged the mood of the British people on displacement of Ukrainians. Indeed. Patrick says, Graham, you need to get your blood pressure checked. You need to de-stress with alcohol. Context says, for something different, was there really a girl arrested for reading the Russian Constitution in public? If so, says much about the current situation. It does indeed. Yeah, that's true. He went to Sentinel Island and he was shot there. The Andamans belong to India, but just like being left alone. Well, the other islands in the Andamans, you can actually go and visit. It's just Sentinel. That everyone knows not to fucking go there. And do you know what? Good. I'm glad those people, there's at least one place on the fucking planet that McDonald's hasn't fucking turned up in. Do you know what I mean? Just one place that can just, the people there, just leave them to it. Just fucking leave them to it. Seriously. Lee Corn, no worries. It's just because I heard the guy in the LBC News today, and it was Ukraine and Poland with the cause. The start of the piece made it out like it was UK red tape, but it wasn't. Okay, all right. Well, we have been corrected in real time here on the show. I'm going to just do a quick dive into tomorrow's papers, if you bear with me for one moment while I just get it up on my screen. I just get it up. Oh, my God. Okay. Ooh, matron. Right. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we will do this. Screencast. Okay. Right. So apparently the killer of David Amos apparently had Gove down as a target. That's the front of the Daily Mirror there. We've got the Daily Express, obscured by my Hughes at 10 logo, saying it's time to raise the state pensions, Mr. Sunak. Yeah, right. I'm never going to do that. We've got the Times saying Putin threatens civilians to break Mariupol's spirit. Indeed, he is threatening them. And there's forced deportations going on right now of civilians from Mariupol who are being taken to Russia by the Russian army. We've got Kate Middleton having an adventure in the jungle. Oh God, the Daily Mail. I wouldn't known. Twisted MP killer plotted attacks for years. That's about the killer of David Amos. Revealed, this is the Guardian, 17 billion of global assets linked to Russians with alleged ties to Putin. The Guardian there. The Daily Star is about Jeff, whatever. The Daily Telegraph, Putin's super yacht faces seizure. Ooh, cool. That's quite interesting. 500 million, that's £500 million. £500 million. Craft docked in Italy could be sanctioned as an investigation reveals staff are from Russia's security service. Oh, I hope. Russia obliterates the Kiev shopping center here on the Independent, which is owned by what's his name, Lebedev. So we will take the Independent with a pinch of salt. Nazanin Zaghari Radcliffe there saying I should have been back 6 years ago. In fact, she should have been. The Metro is a terrifying first-hand account of a journalist's escape from Mariupol. And over at the I newspaper it says Russian troops turn on protesters, and that's Russians killing Russians now because of, I don't know, they haven't even run out of Ukrainians yet. And then the Financial Times leads at the Mall attack, Russia strikes in the Kiev suburbs, and also Powell signals more aggressive tightening of US monetary policy. And over here we have Everett says bond payment blocked over links to Abramovich sanctions. That's a London listed steelmaker, part owned by Roman Abramovich. Okay, right. That is it for tonight. I've run out of tea. I ran out of tea about half an hour ago, and my throat is a bit sore now. A bit little hoarse. Well, I always like to go and feel little hoarse, little Shetland. Okay, so I will say thank you for watching. I've got a load more messages coming in. Damn, I pretty much nearly missed this. I'll need to watch non-live. Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel, but we got you at the end, Daniel Jones. Thank you for coming along at the end. McDonald's Sentinel Burger, indeed. I read the Daily Mail on Saturday. It was hilarious. Oh, my God, Duke. I'm glad you did that so we didn't have to. I will return maybe on Wednesday for Prime Minister's questions if I'm not on the way to Ukraine. The Ukrainian border, don't get ahead of yourselves. On my way to Poland. If I'm not, I will be here and commenting on PMQs. If I am on the way to Ukraine, I'll be doing a live cast pretty much all the way there, which will be exclusively on this channel on YouTube. It won't be going out on... Oh, actually, no, I'm lying. It will go out on Twitter and it will go out on Facebook as well. So please join me on any of those channels in order to watch it. I might also put it out on Twitch if I'm feeling fruity. And yeah, it'll be the same sort of format that we did when we were on the islands. So it will be I'll be a little picture in the corner, so I won't be taking over the whole screen. If you want to put me on your massive 58 inch television. I won't be look like I'm going to crawl out of it like the little girl from The Ring. And your messages will come up on one side as I'm talking, as I'm blabbling away. So it'll be a slightly different format, screen format to this. But hopefully I'll have a van with a working cigarette lighter. Because if I don't, it means I can't have a cigarette. No, I don't smoke. It means that I can't charge my phone as I'm traveling. And my phone currently runs out of batteries after about 2 hours of being used. So I need to keep it charging pretty much constantly. Okay, Duke Vengeance says, seeing that Dover MP getting bodied during a protest and watching the Daily Fail trying to paint her as the good guy. Indeed, that was Natalie Elphick. Hell, she's thick. Who was married to a sex offender. Yes, a jailed ex-Tory MP, a sex offenders register person now, a sex offenders registry, I guess. And she married him, so, you know, good judge of character. And she decided to go to a protest against what P&O did last week, sacking 800 of its staff. And the crowd turned on her and started shouting, shame on you, shame on you. They didn't turn on her quite as much as I might have liked them to. I mean, there were no pitchforks, there were no torches, and there wasn't a giant wicker man involved. But it was still quite satisfying to see a Tory MP in their own constituency getting hounded out of the situation. That was good. More of that, please. More of that. So before I go, I raised money last year. No, the year before. Jesus Christ. In December 2020. I raised money to do a rejoin rally sometime in 2021, but obviously COVID didn't permit that. So I'm planning to do one, eh? I'm planning to do one in Parliament Square before it becomes illegal to do it in Parliament Square, which is what the current governments are trying to do. So I want to rejoin rally maybe in April, maybe in May. So if anyone wants to have a chat about that, we will meet on the Discord server. So if you are a patron or if you are a member of YouTube on this channel, you can get exclusive access to the Discord server, which I'm going to go over to now. So I'll be there. I can definitely say I'll be there. Whereas I can't definitely say for sure that I'll be doing PMQs on Wednesday or Hughes the World, Côte d'Ivoire on Thursday. It completely depends on whether I head off to Ukraine on those days or not. But I will be going off to Ukraine at some point. And yes, it would be great if I just knew exactly what was happening. But things have changed, and now I was on plan B over the weekend, and now I'm on plan C. So just bear with me, okay? I honestly, if you find it frustrating, just imagine what it's like being me. Right, okay, I'm going to say goodnight. Guardian is starting a Russian asset tracker, hopefully including Johnson and most Tory MPs. That would be good. They should have thrown her off the cliff, says Duke Vengeance. What van doesn't have a PowerPoint? Yeah, Chubai, I'm talking about like the cigarette lighter not working, the socket not working. Like sometimes you hire a van and the socket doesn't work. It's happened to me before. And yeah, so I won't say the name of the van hire company, but they weren't very good. They were the cheapest one. They were the cheapest one. So until next time, my dear friends, I'm going to say bonne nuit. And I will be heading over to the Discord server, so hopefully I'll see you there in a little bit. Let's talk Ukraine, let's talk rejoin, let's talk about how much of an absolute massive chugging cunt Boris Johnson is. And Vladimir Putin. He can get to fuck. He can get to hell. He can get in the sea and fucking drown there. Okay, until next time, I'll say thanks for watching, thanks for the super chats, and hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.